How would you like to make your first million? And then we have Nico with us, and he's a serial entrepreneur. And I have pleasure to meet him in following last uh, Sunday. So, Nico, tell us, what are 5 steps that you might entrepreneurs in order to make the first million?
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and wisdom of how they sold their first million.
Well, thank you so much for me having this podcast. But the first 5 steps in order to make the first million is first, you have to learn how to take calculated and how to learn how to take calculated risks and non-emotional gambles, right? Multimillionaires, they don't play safe, but they don't play stupid either. They study the downside, they protect their cash flow, and they bet big on the upside of business, knowing that with calculated risk, with high risk, there comes high returns, right? Second thing, live outside your comfort zone. Understand that if you really want to grow, you have to step outside of that box, because if you stay in that box, you're just going to stay in that box. In order to expand that box, you have to get out of it, right? Step three, stack high income skill sets. We're living in an age right now where you have AI at your fingertips. You have trained with 7 to 8 or 10 billion parables that can pass the LSAT in less than 30 minutes, and you can look up anything you want with a click of your fingers, right? Utilize those resources, understand one powerful skill set that's going to make you invaluable to any business that you go into, right? Fourth, adopt an ownership mentality. Hey, life is going to throw bullets at you, right? It's going to suck every single day, but you're going to have to understand that sometimes it is up to you to fix those mistakes, and it's up to you to keep on going forward, right? You have to own your mistakes, learn from it, and keep on going forward. And then the fifth is capture opportunity faster than others. If you have the right mindset with the right skill set, opportunity will present itself. But when that opportunity presents itself, it's up to you to understand what you do with it, right? Everyone can be handed the same opportunity. It's like someone going to a table and saying, "Here's free $100. Here's your free $100, right? Come take it." Everyone's going to raise their hand, but it's up to the person that runs to that person to capture that $100 is the real winner. Get out, do action, and get some results.
Because why did you decide to become an entrepreneur? You should
Yeah.
be, when I was your age, I was in parties and I never was not thinking about business or how to make money. I was chasing girls and having fun. And, for you to build those businesses, you have to pay a price for it. So why inspire you so young to become an entrepreneur?
Yeah, entrepreneurship was for me at such a young age was so prominent because I wanted to make something of my own. Yes, you can always go out there, get a job, and get another sufficient paycheck, but I wanted something that I could be very proud to call my own. That was a huge drive for me. But the main reason, my main why, is because of my mom. My mom has been working very hard her whole life. She has literally been weeks where she wouldn't eat for us to eat at the table. I come from a very poor background. I know what it's like to be at the very bottom. And I know what it's like to be at the very top, and I choose to be at the very top every single time. But in order to get to the top, no risk, no Ferrari, right? You got to learn how to take risks. You got to learn how to take calculators. You got to learn how to capture the moment. So from that, standpoint, because of my mom having cancer, because she's put so much into work, I want to be in the life where I get to make my own money, where I get to retire her. And when that comes, it's a done deal. And plus, with the multiple amount of business that I've created, I've helped paid almost a huge chunk of her credit card debt and almost all of her medical bills. So those are hefty bills. And for me to be in that position at a young age, to be the one paying and help supporting, was by far the best feeling I have ever felt before. And yes, at my age, I see a lot of other guys every single weekend go out, party, capture, get another girl. But guess what? At any weekend, that opportunity is always there. But that opportunity right now that we have, we're living in a huge transitional phase between internet to now with AI, and I'm capturing that moment. I'm not waiting 30 years, 40 years to get my first opportunity. I'm capturing it right now, right here. So for me me capturing the opportunity is me being able to put that next step forward to get to that goal, to get my mom, all good, and we're all good and done. So that's why everything is all set and clear.
So, Nico, and what I know you tell us about your new business. I know that you in the luxury market, which I'm a big fan, right? Because
Yeah.
the luxury market have a different dynamic. So tell me about your previous business and why this business in the luxury market is different. And what do you the most of your previous business and of this new business you have?
Yeah, gotcha. So right now, this is my third business at the age of 24. The current business that I'm working on right now is actually three different subsectors. Is one being an AI consultant, learning how to take business owners to understand the usage of AI and how it's very beneficial for their business. Second is luxury brokerage. So, hey, you want a private jet, you want exotic cars, you want yachts, you want villas, I'm your guy. I can help connect from the a direct owner directly to you. So that's where you get the best rate for the best luxury possibility. And third is being a business broker, understanding what it takes in private equity and hedge fund ownership and venture capitalists to understand, okay, what is a good business idea? How much funding do you need? And what is the allocation in order to get that funding, right? It's a huge, long procedural step points, and you have to do a lot of meetings in that regard. But it really opened my eyes to opportunity of there is money out there to be captured, but you have to know how to capture it. And I'm the person to help you capture that funds.
A little bit more about your first two businesses. A
Awesome.
little bit
Yeah.
more.
So again, remember, yeah. So again, this is my third business at the age of 24. My first business was actually at Saxby's, which was I was a student chief executive officer, that being responsible of 25 team members, talking to executives, financial officers, supply chain managers, making sure operating the whole business by myself at the age of 19, not knowing how to do any business measurement or management whatsoever. So having to go and head first, making a lot of mistakes, some even costly, had put me in a position where I had to learn very quickly, very fast to get it to a profitable standpoint. So within honestly, the fourth to fifth month, I was, like, can you give me 1 second, brother? Sorry. So within the first 4 months, I actually turned a negative company into actually a profitable company, producing $16,000 in profit, reducing costs by 11,000. That was my first ever experience of actual entrepreneurship, actually taking ownership of a business and actually producing into an actual profitable company. That really helped drove my second actually ideation of my second company, which is Backyard Bash, which is a party event planning agency, of which we took us 2 years to actually become profitable and several events that had a lot of different failures. But all it took was one event that popped off, and the series of events after that was just cash flow. We generated to $30,000 a month, going from 10 people parties to 500 people parties, $50 nights, sometimes even losing money in the nighttime, to making $10,000 in an hour and a half. So that took consistent grind, dedication, effort to keep on with that, with the aspect of producing a positive cash flow, to keep money coming in to help my mom with all of her bills and help me with my bills for, college, food, tuition, everything else like that. And I was self-sufficient because I took that risk, and I got some really cool results.
So, Nico, what is your biggest challenge as an entrepreneur and how you become that challenge?
The biggest challenge as an entrepreneur and how I change it is honestly imposter syndrome. I feel like a lot of people deal with that. People who are in good positions thinking that they're not worthy enough because they don't think they have the right evidence and skill set. But you got to realize imposter syndrome, the solution to imposter syndrome is actual evidence of showcasing that you actually did it. Right. With me at the age of 24, I still do deal with imposter syndrome, thinking that I shouldn't be in this position that I am right now. But no, again, this is my third business at the age of 24. Each business has done well above 40% profit margins. Right. I put my own time, effort, showcasing with actual evidence, irrefutable evidence, showcasing that I've done that time and time again. So I think once you get to understand that, it's you versus you at the end of the day, and you really have to put yourself in a position that you are definitely worthwhile and qualified to do what you have to do, then you really unlock that barrier to keep on pushing forward.
So, Nico, and what? Let's talk about the imposter syndrome because all entrepreneurs have this. This is something that everybody think when you start the business, especially when you start to make money. I remember my first business was in property. So with me, and I remember that when it was at some point that I am receiving all this money, right? And
Right.
doing anything. And then you feel like you feel like there is something wrong with you. That why I'm receiving, why I deserve this, why I'm receiving all this money without even work. Yeah. So Nico, can you open your camera? So
Yes. Sorry.
few
Give me one
few
second.
tips that you can give to young entrepreneurs, right? Especially when you are young, right? And you in these transitions, people don't take it seriously. So I had to overcome that, and it was huge. And it doesn't come overnight. It lasts long. And so, what advice do you have for fellow young entrepreneurs like you? Okay, and at the moment of facing this challenge, or even worse, they haven't had the courage to open and to start the first business just because of that. And this is what is holding them back, which is actually very common among entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs.
100%. Um, yeah. And again, you
Why
have
you
to
did, how
realize.
you do it, how you become that, or how you start to work on that. Do you read a book? Do you meditate? What you did in
So
order
actually,
to,
it,
yeah,
it, it was my identical twin brother. It was my identical twin brother. I'm actually an identical twin. My twin and I have been consistently pushing each other time and time again to keep on pushing ourselves to the next level. It was actually last year in the aspect of, especially last year, with the aspect of 75 hard. For 75 days, you do 5 daily deliverables, right? Those 5 daily deliverables really help build discipline, grit, and perseverance. Those 5 deliverables being first, you have to read 10 pages of a non-fictional book. First book I always recommend to telling people, especially my mentee, who is a first generation Harvard student, is to read Atomic Habits by James Clear. I think it's one of the most powerful books, understanding that the smallest habits that you make on a daily basis really determine if you're successful or not, right? That's a first book you can read. You can read Alex Hormozy. You can read any book that is honestly up to your liking to understand that it's a self-help book getting to yourself to the next level for success, right? Second thing, right? You have to learn how to manage your diet. Food is very important, right? For me, I like to eat, but at some point, oh, I can't hear you.
go ahead.
At the second point, you have to learn how to and control your intake, right? For me, I love to eat, but at the same point, you have to understand that with proper dieting, with proper discipline, with proper control, you can get to the results that you need, right? I used to be heavily obese, but undercoming the 75 hard, I've lost almost 60 pounds, understanding that it was up to me, the fact that I got that heavy weight, it was up to me to actually lose that weight. So that's when the diet was very important in the 75 hard. Third, take a progress picture every day. You don't really see results until you see those results in hand with a picture every single day from when you started to when you ended and the whole progress way through, right? Very important. Fourth, you have to learn how to do 2 workout sets, 45 minutes each, 3 hours apart. One has to be outside. That is a super hard thing to do. And it's the one attribute that gets a lot of people quitting 75 hard. Because again, you fail on any of those parts, any of those 3 or 4 parts I just mentioned, you have to go back to day one. And I failed 14 times, and I still, on the 14th time, tried again, keep on going. Right. So when you have those four, the fifth one is drinking a gallon of water a day. Intake of water is very important. It's very actually beneficial for your whole mindset, for digestion, for thinking clearly and mentally. And once you get to understand that, you know, you can complete those 5 daily deliverables. It's super simple, but it's much harder on when you do it 75 days in a row on the days that you don't want to do it, when everything's against you and you still have to do it, or when it's raining or when it's snowing. And guess what? You still have to do it. You have to go outside, do that 45-minute workout, whether that be a walk, a run, doing an outside workout with dumbbells or anything that is that case to get that checklist done. So those 5 things really help develop a mentality and mindset for me to keep on going to that next level. And guess what? Stay at that level. It's hard to become champion. It's even harder to stay champion, right? So that is the first building block of building the right mindset, the right mentality space to get yourself to that level of, again, having that discipline, having that grit, and having that perseverance, and understanding that some days it's going to suck. Not sugarcoating, it's going to suck. You're going to have to pull yourself together because no one's going to come to save you. You're going to have to pull yourself out of those bootstraps and keep on going, right? So once you do that, I really feel like that imposter syndrome is just another excuse that people say to keep on pushing themselves back. No, you have to be that person. You have to build that indisputable evidence saying that I did this because of me, because I put myself in the situation. So
Nico, and what when it comes to be a young entrepreneur, right? What are the resources that has helped you the most in order to you to follow your career as an entrepreneur, and
yeah,
any resources and what you recommend to young people in terms of coaching,
yeah,
mentoring, resource?
100%. Road to My First Million, your podcast, several other podcasts out there, Alex Hormozy podcast. Those are beautiful touching points. They're giving you just straight sauce, just straight evidence, just everything right there at your fingertips. You get to learn from the best of the best, from the best Brian's out of the whole entire world. Free, right? That's up to you to actually put in that time to actually learn and listen to those podcasts. Second thing, YouTube Academy. My God, that has helped me save so much time. It has helped me go to the next level, right? A lot of stuff I didn't know how to do it. Guess what? YouTube. How do I open up a new document? I don't know. Something like that, right? How do I organize? How do I look at a profit and loss statement? How do I look at a balance sheet, right? Or what does discipline mean, right? I mean, there's so many different things you can honestly research on ChatGPT, on YouTube. There's all this information out there, but again, it's up to you to capture that, right? So for me, I wanted to go heavily into AI. What was the first thing I did? What is AI? Right? And then the rabbit hole goes down there. Okay, what does LLM mean? Right? What is NAN? What is make? What is go high level? Right? These are all different, tools and resources that you can look up on your own. And there's free resources out there they will teach you A through Z with you spending zero. Right? It's up to you to capture that opportunity and to learn to actually sit down, take notes, not just watching it, but take notes and actually acting on those notes and keep on going from there.
So English is no my first language, and I
Yeah, of
remember
course.
18 years ago when I started my first business, and I had to write a business letter dealing with the landlords, my property business. It was gonna take me a week. I remember that I had to write the letter in my own language. Then
Mhm.
I had to find a friend that speak very good English. Then my friend translated. Then when I'm reading in English, I know that he translates, but he doesn't want to. He's not saying exactly what I want to say. So I had to come
Mhm.
back and tell him my words. No, no, no. I need in English, but I need this like this because it's a business contract. It's very specific. So then my
Mhm.
friend will fix it again. Then give me back again. Well, the whole process would take me a week. Just
Wow.
one business letter. Today, with AI, you can do it in less
Right
than a
there.
minute. In less
Right
than a
there.
minute, you can
Right
have
there.
different. So business has changed a lot in the last 18 years, right? So a lot of people think that AI is the new flavor of the day. In technology, we have, for example, internet. It was a revolution. Okay. Now
Mhm.
with internet came websites, came the social media, came the blockchain, came NFTs, a lot of different technology that we can say, okay, this is a new flavor of the day on technology. Okay. Now, my question to you is, do you think that AI is a new flavor of the day when it comes to technology, or is actually the new revolution? AI, no, generative AI, which is, do you
I
think that this is a new revolution since the internet, or
Yes,
you think that it's just a new
100%.
flavor of the day and it's gonna uh, like soon it's gonna be something else and everybody will forget about this generative AI? What do you think?
No, I 100% think it is a new revolution. Think of it like the new internet boom, right? Actually, now more so than ever, on an actual statistical standpoint, more people are using AI, generated services than Google being in all those services. Because right now, with the same question that you ask on AI versus, Google, AI is willing to tell you like you're a 5-year-old, right? Plus access evidence to another 30 other documents that it read, scanned to give it to you. So instead of you having to go, okay, why is the sky blue? Right? Or something like that. You would have to go through that. And then you're going down a rabbit hole of you manually having to click those different links, websites, and understanding reading it. No, AI will do all that for you, summarize it like that, reverberate it, right? Summarize it, and then give it to you like your 5-year-old. Like it's super simple, like you've never seen before. All these complex jargon materials, acronyms, everything else like that. You just ask AI, and next thing you know, it gives it in less than a minute a perfectly well-rounded answer with over 30, 40 different sources of evidence. If you use Claude, if you use ChatGPT, use Grok, use Anthropic, there's so many different resources out there. It's up to you to understand how to capture it and how to utilize AI correctly, right? The difference between a really good, person is the prompts, right? The utilization of prompts. It's like the key to a correct source. So if you say, what is LLM, right? Versus what is LLM? How can I use this to help benefit my personal business in AI consulting, right? Using this resource and this resource. That first one sentence prompt versus that other sentence where you say where you program it correctly to the answers and design that you want to get it is the difference between a really good prompt and really good answer versus a mediocre one. And that also goes to this aspect of vibe coding. You can go to Lovable. You can go to Build 44. You can go through all these different resources, AI Studio. You can go through Anti-Gravity, right? These are all resources, all for which are free. That you can go in if you have the correct prompts, right? There's even AI agents to build you the right prompts that will literally do the whole prompt for you. And if you just put all the ideas you want, get that prompt and put it into Lovable or put it to Build 44, guess what? You have a minimum viable product, an MVP based off of one idea that you had in your head. You just typed in the computer, put in the prompt, put that prompt into Lovable, put that into Build 44, and now you have an MVP that you can actually start selling it on your own. It is now easier than ever to start a business. So easy. You have all this information, access to all these web sources, free websites to get you to that next level. But again, it's up to you to capture that moment and take the action to get to that next level.
And then, Nico, I agree with you that this generative AI is just a new revolution, and we are just starting.
Oh my God, yeah.
We can. So this is not a new tech flavor of the day. It's here to stay, and a lot of people think that AI. Some people say, well, AI is gonna take a job, and what I'm thinking is that if the people right now don't start to learn AI and don't start to embrace AI, it's not going to be a job for anybody because the company is going to collapse. The competitors
100%.
will start to use AI and will start to be more
100%.
efficient. So it's not that the AI is going to take your job. It's like whatever company you're working for, it doesn't use AI. It's not going to be a job for anybody. So
Yes, I know.
what
It's
do
a
you
scary time to live.
think? Yeah, tell us, because you do a lot of AI consultancy, so that's why I'm asking you questions about AI. What is your view in this statement? AI it will take off jobs, and what people gonna do? So, what do you recommend those people that are concerned about AI taking the jobs, and what can they do? On what, and also
Right.
the entrepreneurs also. So, what message do you have to entrepreneurs that now that they are reluctant to use AI? They are old school. They want to operate their business as before. So what message do you have
100%.
for those entrepreneurs?
Yeah. Being an AI consultant, me being actually an entrepreneur, right? When I used to work for Bank of New York, I actually have utilized AI services to actually automate my whole workflow. And in that process, automating my whole workflow saved my whole team 3 or 4 hours. And in return, got 6 people fired, right? And that sucks to see, honestly. Like the work that I put in, there was other people getting fired because I've automated that whole process. And that's a scary sight to feel, especially being in person, seeing it right in front of your face. But what I tell a lot of people is the biggest risk is not taking any risk at all. Right now, you have access to AI. If you learn how to use that, me being able to put that aspect in entrepreneur and add the aspect of AI into business and actually showcasing real business value has led me to stay in that position rather than being one of those 6 that got fired, right? Because I was the aspect of value add, because I was the one who built those agentic AI workflows to help automate those processes to keep on that business, keep on running. And I built many other automations to help that business keep on scaling, right? So yes, we are going to live in a time with maybe in 5 to 10 years, a lot of jobs are going to be disappearing like that, especially easy analyst roles. You have right now, I think like Amazon just fired 16,000 workhouse employees because they use AI robots, right? I mean, honestly, it's very rare that like no job is safe, right? I mean, because after some point, once you train an AI agent how to do the exact same thing that you do, now that we have artificial intelligence coming out right now with Claude and everything else like that, you're seeing the rapid scalability of AI going insanely quickly, right? But now, if you decide to say, oh, my job is safe, oh, I'm going to be okay, I'm another, storm hitting you real soon, maybe in the next 5 years. And you're going to have to be the one, you might be the one that's getting fired because someone else younger than you built a system and got you out of the business because that other person provided business value. So you have to learn how to understand, okay, now you have to learn how to use AI, right? You have to learn how to be competitively advantaged against all the other competitors. And you got to learn other high value skill sets that's going to make you very unique. Now more than ever, I think back then being creative was worth it because there's no job opportunities right now. But now with creativity, with your own mindset, you can go to Higgsfield, you can go through all of these different platforms, and you with just whatever you want to have, an idea of your own, whether that be a prompt engineer to build MVP product, or a creative idea to create a creative prompt to put in Higgsfield to create AI ads that will take back then $3 or $4 million to create CGI video. You can create that with 1 or 2 prompts. So if you learn how to do that, guess what? Now you're the invaluable asset that when you go to another business, hey, I need your services now because you know how to use AI now and to keep on going to that next level. So if you know how to do that correctly, and if you're willing to take that time and actually learn, implement, take notes, and actually act on it, I'm telling you, you're going to be a huge value add to your business, to your own, to the business that you're working for, or just building that next skill set. So when it hits the fan, guess what? You have that skill set, you have that knowledge base, you have that foundational aspect to keep on going to the next level. Because right now we are living in a time and age where literally every 2 or 3 months, some new AI apps coming out, AGI is coming out, and it just gets crazier. And it's just, what are you going to do to make sure that you are a unique value add for yourself, for your business, or for the respective business that you're working for?
Right, Nico, if somebody's inspired with this conversation, or young entrepreneur is listening and is stuck and to some help from you, how people can find you, how this process works, can you share with us?
Yeah. So everyone can follow me on Instagram, Nico_social, NICO_social, SOCIAL, social. You can reach out to me there. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. You can shoot me a DM, right? Whenever you shoot me a DM, I'll give you my own personal phone number. I don't like giving out to the direct public because I don't want to be blown up. You can check out my LinkedIn. I mean, I've touched hands with CEO of Chase, PNC, Bank of New York. Bank of New York being the largest custodian in the entire world, having over $50.2 trillion in assets and processing $2.3 trillion a day. Actually, a keynote what I like to tell a lot of people is that when working that business, from processing $2.3 trillion a day to get to $1 trillion, if I were to give you $100 every single second, it would take you 317 years to get to $1 trillion. So we almost process 1,000 years of $100 every single second a day, just to show you how much cash flow is operating in the background. So with that being said, I'm an open book. I would love answering any questions. I love mentoring. I love teaching, and I'll do it all for free. It's up to you to take that action and to keep on going. And for my LinkedIn, again, it's Nishanth Abdullah, NISHANTH Abdullah, ABDULLAH, but you can just call me Nico.
Thank you so much, Nico, for the podcast, and for all of you following the broadcast. See you in our next episode of Unstoppable. How brave entrepreneur like Nico break that wall and achieve the first million. Bye for now.
Bye. Thank you, guys.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.